what's up? It's Vanessa from Double XL. Moments of Clarity. No Ramon. Yes, Shaheem. Yes, JFK.
Yep.
Kids trick-or-treating. Ramon's got dad responsibilities. We respect it.
Yeah, we're like the Wu-Tang Clan sometimes. It's hard to catch us all in one place. But I'm back. I was gone last week. I'm back.
Yeah, we heard you were traveling.
Yeah, I had some WWE stuff I was doing last week. Was hanging out.
You were wrestling?
No, I'm in training to be a manager. I might come and manage one of the gorgeous ladies of. Well, I can't say Glow. The gorgeous ladies of wrestling because that's Glow, but one of the WWE.
I enjoy Glow. I enjoyed it. I never thought I would. I don't care about wrestling, but I genuinely am into Glow.
Mount Fiji, Hollywood and Vine, all of those people. I wouldn't be mad managing Sasha Banks. That's Snoop Dogg's cousin. I wouldn't be mad managing Sasha.
So hip hop is obsessed with the WWE, right? Like rappers love wrestling.
Always.
Wale's super into that.
Wale's super into it. We've had staff that was super into it. We've had former staff go and work for the WWE. We know people are writing WWE books or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, it seems so now with it being as fake as it is, and hip hop liking realness.
What
am I missing?
Wait.
No, I'm totally ignorant here.
Not fake. It's entertainment.
It's all real.
The injuries are real. You see people, the bloodshed is real and all of that. The injuries, it's entertainment. Vince McMahon is years ago. He's pulled the curtain from in front of Oz, and he's let people know that this is entertainment. But it's fun. It's like, the real wrestling fans. We don't watch it and say, "Oh, this is fake," or the outcome is already known. Like it's entertainment. I always say to people, it is our.
Yeah, what is it?
It is our live soap opera.
Okay.
That's what it is. This is like how we get caught up. We know damn well Omari Hardwick ain't shooting people or Sakura's not doing anything, but we know.
Is not.
Yeah, but we know Ghost and Tommy. We some people. We cheer for Lala. Some people don't.
Are you all caught up on Power, both of you?
We are.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Where are we at? One episode left before a break, before a break, and then I'm confused. I think there's 5 more after that or something. But what are we?
I like we getting a little extra. We going out with a little extra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wrapped up this season. I was with my mother. She's in town and.
Mom likes Power?
She loves it. She loves it.
My mom too.
She was binge watching it the past 2-3 days just to catch up with everything. So I put her up on Power, and I put her up on Godfather of Harlem. And my mom's was back in them days. She was out. She was how they say she was outside. She was out. No. Funny enough, I'm from Queens, but my mother is actually from Harlem.
She is from Harlem.
Yeah, they all from Harlem. Okay.
So I didn't realize you had roots like that in Harlem.
Yeah, she knows all the landmarks, Lenox Terrace, and all of that. We got family there, so she was watching it, and she was like, "Yeah, this is my era. I liked it." So she's had a good
Well, you had 50 go up this week to DC to talk to people about it and make sure Comcast wasn't dropping. Stars, and he was over taking pictures with Nancy Pelosi yesterday, so DC must be aware of Power.
Oh yeah, DC is actually drunk with Power right now because the Nationals won the World Series last night. So
congratulations!
I know Wale and all of them guys are going crazy. I'm a Mets fan, so it kind of hurts, but just because I'm hating. But shout out to all my people in DC, and I'm sure 50 has charmed those people into keeping Stars at least for another 2 months until Power is,
Well, they have all those spin-off shows, too.
Yeah.
So whatever's coming, I don't even know how many spin-offs or what there are, but we know there's things in store and something with Mary J. Blige, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Something. It was kind of cool to see 50 take pictures with Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, so
I don't know why. That excited me a little bit.
Keep Stars, man.
Keep Stars. Keep Stars, Comcast. Keep Stars. All right, so not a lot of news this week. A lot of some Kanye, right? I guess we'll go right into. I'm so tired of talking about Kanye, but we'll go back into Kanye. I hope that this doesn't happen again in December, but it's looking like it is. So expected to sell 225 to 275 with a #1 album. We never really got an accurate read on Pablo and title and all that. We don't really know what he's coming from previously. But we know that he's about to have one of the biggest albums, if not the biggest album of the year, which I should have done my research to figure that out. But
I think
Tyler,
in hip hop.
biggest album of the year or not? Y'all can't see Tyler, but trust me, he's here. And he's wearing a fish on his shirt. Okay, so Post Malone is the biggest
Posty.
one, right? Post Malone is the biggest, and then Kanye will be the next. Says the numbers guy over here. Then Tyler, no pun intended. And then Juice. And then DaBaby.
Dreamville in there somewhere, I think.
Still underneath.
I mean,
Right.
Dreamville's definitely in there, but of course that came from you.
Right.
They broke 6 figures, but they're not above any of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Kanye, you like the album? You don't like the album? What do you think? I mean, we know how Shaw feels, but
Yeah, I mean, it was a record that they played that wasn't on the thing. Him and Ty Dolla was more like a party record.
that Parsley tweet about Ty Dolla, was it? He's like, they use him like parsley. Did you
Oh,
see?
yeah, I
Somebody
saw that.
tweeted that he's used like
Yeah.
parsley. Was hilarious. But
Yeah,
anyway,
what's going on with that? I don't you hate, because we've all been in situations where we hear an album before it comes out and there's a song that we really like and it's like, oh, it didn't make the album. Are you serious?
Yeah.
And Kanye has pulled that on a number of occasions.
Yeah.
On all of his albums, we've all heard Kanye's album.
oh, we should do a story about all the albums from all the songs from Kanye that didn't make albums and make their own album.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Big brains here.
he's pulled a fast one on us a number of times, but I think Jesus is King. I think it was cool. Like I really like Follow God. I think that's the third song on the track list, and it has that, the sample on there where it really sounds like the quote unquote old Kanye. Like he gets into his
Right.
flow, and it just has that bounce to it that I really like. I do like the song with him and Ty Dolla $ign that actually made the cut. I think it's Everything We Need. That's a record that they. I think I heard that the first time at Coachella when they did Sunday service. It's good to hear the clips together again.
Yeah.
They actually.
They're actually brothers, and they probably talk regularly, so I don't know how much of a reunion it really is. But
Yeah, but I mean, we haven't heard them on a record together. But I was gonna say, not to cut my own self off, I want to hear Sunday Service album, like all of this great
But
stuff.
it doesn't understand that
they
that's not
doing.
what we got, right? We've been listening to Sunday Service for like 6 months now, watching all the celebrities go there, and then you don't get a Sunday Service. That's what I'm confused by.
Right.
Like, why didn't it just become a Sunday Service album?
I mean, I think it's interesting.
Like, why isn't
that-
it like a live Sunday Service album?
Right. I mean, I guess that's what Jesus is Born is going to be, the Christmas one. But I guess it makes sense to use that as a way to get our attention and then, okay, cool, here's my music now, and then sandwich it with the Sunday service thing. So basically you have to stay in tune with Kanye and what he
Don't
has
you think
going
Jesus
on.
is Born happened before Jesus became king, so that should have come out first?
That does make sense
Yeah.
chronologically,
It
yes.
bothers me a
Well,
little.
Kanye is.
But then it's December and Jesus is born, right? So it's that kind of thing.
Right.
Kanye does his.
So what does
his
Jesus
own
do
rules.
next? He's a king. He was
Jesus
born.
rules.
He
He
rules.
rules.
Next one's Jesus rules.
Jesus rules. And
Right.
he's
Jesus rules everything around.
he's already walked. Jesus walked. So.
Yeah, he did walk already.
Yeah,
He
he walked
walked.
already.
Yeah.
So maybe we just going backwards like Tarantino. He walked, king, born.
Yeah,
Maybe
okay,
he
I'll give you
conceived.
that.
Well, Immaculate Conception is the one after that.
It's gonna get deep right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if we're ready for that.
I
This
just
group.
find it interesting that I think that Kanye's core has spoken. Like, everybody is curious. People have been waiting for anything for him to put out any type of record. I guess that the last record, the Yandi leaked, because I heard a bunch of records, unfinished songs on YouTube. So I think people were very curious. I think he got some of the church crowd who may or may not have been listening to him, but I feel like people that go to church, he's such a big artist, people are interested in what he
Could
does.
Kanye ever be your pastor?
No.
Could he be your pastor?
I don't think so.
Like you in your later years, you're in your 40s, you're going to church a little bit more regularly, and Kanye's your pastor. Can you do that?
I don't think I'll go to that church.
I mean, I would go see what it is. It's something where we would have
We'd
to
go
have,
to see anything to see what it is.
Yeah, we would have to have a conversation, and I would have to, listen to some of his views. But at this point, right now, I could say no because he.
You said no.
Right.
I've been listening. I've been listening to some of the interviews, and I still don't agree with a lot of the stuff he's saying. Like he's he's doing this music that's shrouded in faith, and he's talking about the Lord, but he's still at the same time doubling down on his admiration of Donald Trump, who's doing a lot of devilish things. So that in itself I find as a contradiction. But as journalists, what we do is sometimes we agree to disagree, and we write our viewpoints. And if we're talking about the music, I think for what it is, on the gospel side, it's not a bad gospel album at all. I think he still has some great production. I think he still shows some glimpses, like I said, of the old Kanye. But don't go expecting this album to be late registration or something like that. It's something totally different. I saw it when Nori said it was trash. Did you see that?
I did see that, yeah.
And then YG came back and was like, I fuck with him hard. He's a genius except for any Trump stuff.
Right.
Not that way. Well, yeah. I think the general consensus I saw online and felt definitely was that, as usual, the beats are strong, the choir is amazing, but that the lyrics were on the weaker side, which would come from him. What do you guys think of that? Is that a fair... I mean, that felt pretty of a fair feedback to me of how people, there's good lines here and there, but I did feel like that was probably the weaker part of the project.
A little empty,
yeah.
I would say, like lyrically.
It was,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we had this first podcast when we talked about Pablo years ago, and, to me, Kanye lyrically has always been a very provocative artist, and he's somebody that really, traditionally, for better or for worse, he really let you into what's going on with him. He really spoke his mind, and he really articulated where he was going through personally, professionally. Like he was just bare. Now it's like, okay, he's praising the Lord. I like that. How can I knock anybody that's praising the Lord? But I wanted to hear what's going through his mind, like all of the turmoil that he's been through.
Right.
And, he has to...
I don't think that's an honesty he can provide, though.
I mean, he could talk... I think he could talk about it. I mean, he's talked about a lot before. He talked about hardship. He's talked about triumph before.
Right.
Yeah, the Grammys,
I just don't
Taylor
think that's
Swift.
where he's at now. I think he's in a kind of a victim mode. They canceled me, cancel culture. Like it feels like he's coming very from a victimized place now.
I mean, I don't see him as being a victim. I mean, he's it's a fact.
Do you think he sees himself as being a victim?
I don't see how he could, because he's had the greatest financial windfall of his entire life.
You believe the windfall and everything? I mean, I always think numbers are interesting. Like, if I'm not seeing the checks and the paperwork and the so-and-so.
Yeah.
I mean, can I make up numbers right now? And that's what I'm interested
I'm just looking...
giving you $68 million back?
I'm just looking at
the...
I mean, it does. I mean, and we saw, maybe that's something we got to talk about later in the show. You saw where Tekashi's DJ came out and said that that $10 million deal was false news too. Did you guys see that? So I'm just going on what I saw on the Forbes list. The Forbes list, they're usually, I know they're not to the penny correct, but they're usually someplace in the ballpark of what he got. And for previous
I want
years,
Forbes to do it on me so that I could see if they're right about how much I have and how accurate. And be like, oh, they got my shit right, so they must have get their shit right. But until then, I'm just like, I don't know what Forbes is coming up with this. And no disrespect to Forbes, I legitimately don't even know how you put that together.
Right.
And how you find all that stuff. Like, how do you know what secret deals somebody's invested in or not, or what their savings is, or what this? I don't get it. What they inherited. I just don't get how you get people's financial business.
Yeah, but I mean, even if he made half of what it did, I mean, he's in a great financial windfall. It seems to be. You know, his
Right.
album is still selling for better for worse. His core is out there. All of the Sunday service thing people are going to. So he's in a good place. I mean, I don't know what's
you're gonna
going
have a
on
number
at
one
home.
record, so that's
Yeah.
a good place with all of the antics and all the everything. I mean, it was moved around, so it didn't have much competition, I'm sure, too. But, you know, they're going to get a number one album out of it, so a win's a win.
Yeah.
Whatever sled you took to get there for it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I guess to your point too about like whether he's been feels victimized. I think he has for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about even going back to like the Yeezus era when he was like, these fashion houses aren't giving me any chances, and you know, even before that with the award shows, he's like,
I feel like he's always
you know?
been a victim. I mean, and he's been a victim for Beyonce's a victim, so I'm a victim.
right,
You know, like I
right.
think that's definitely a stance he takes as feeling constantly like the underdog, right?
Mhm.
Or the underdog who's not getting treated right, or somebody who's not getting something fair. Like it definitely feels
I
like
mean,
he's
some
never
peop-
like, yo, life is good.
Some people have to make up that type of motivation to inspire them. But
Right.
I'm gonna tell you, just like, and you know, ironically, we talking Kanye. 50 said this in an interview not too long ago. He said, "There is no pity for the winners." And right
Right.
now, Kanye is doing his thing. I don't think he's gonna get that sympathy card for anybody. I mean, I wish him the best with his mental health. You know, I know he's been through some mental issues.
So that keeps coming back around as a subject, as everyone's like, well, it's his mental health. Like, it's his mental health. Like, are we, you know, he doesn't want to be on his meds, or, you know, we're being mean to a guy who's got mental health issues, or we're not being fair to a guy. How much do we really think, I don't know, how much do you really think that plays a role in things? Is it an excuse? Is it a cause? Is it a reason? Is it, what is it?
I don't think people are being mean to him. I think he's said some very outlandish things. His latest is his take on abortion, which, hey, we could do a whole show about that. You know, people take on abortion. That's been going on for, you know, decades. Put that aside, the abortion thing. Put that aside. His words about slavery, you know, a lot of stuff
Doubling
where
down
he
on
missed.
that recently,
He's
too.
doubled down on that.
I think he's tripled down at this point.
Right.
His Donald Trump allegiance, and you know, I've always said that Kanye was always viewed as one of the blackest, most ghetto artists. Like when we think of just like, you know, black music and just stuff he did, like he was a voice. He was a major voice, an important voice for the black community, and of course he wilded out on a few things. That's what he was, but you know, with his latest round is just very disappointing. That we talked about wrestling earlier. It's like a heel turn. A heel turn is when one of your most favorite good guys does something and he's considered a bad guy. So when we saw him with Donald Trump, it was just something that we can't unsee.
I think it's hard to go to, which we watched yesterday, George Bush doesn't care about black people, to Donald Trump is a good guy, and what happened between those two statements, right? And maybe he didn't say word for word Donald Trump is a good guy, but his defense of Donald Trump, and then from the George Bush stuff and stuff during the Katrina time and all of that, I think we're wondering what happened from here to here. And what is so good about Donald Trump that was so bad about George Bush. I think that's what's confusing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he put on the hat, you know.
Yeah, and he wore the hat.
We saw the rant on Saturday Night Live where he was saying that he was being bullied about wearing the hat, and then he goes and does these interviews and he says, okay, there was a certain, and even on the album there was a certain point where he says he's been working for the devil for so long. And, you know, he says he's had this spiritual awakening, and, you know, he kind of alludes to when he did the stuff with Donald Trump and was wearing the MAGA hat.
That it was, that's when he needed to go through the awakening, or that's right. But then you're now here kind of feeling the same way. So where was the awakening?
Yeah,
what changed?
That's what confuses me, because it's like he's kind of trying to step away from it, but at the same time, he's still holding hands with it.
Well, the Democrats' abortion comment, and what was that exactly? Look it up. I don't want to get it wrong, but
yeah.
I mean that goes in the vein of Democrats are evil, Republicans are good, and Republicans are Trump's party, and he's the captain of that ship right now. So it does get confusing. But I don't know. I think Kanye's trying to elicit a response from people.
Yeah, I still think he's in a. It looks to be in a state of confusion because he's still kind of double dutching around. You know, like I said, the abortion thing is something that you look from a religious aspect, you look from an age aspect. That's something that people have been debating and going back and forth, pro-life versus pro-choice. People have died over that. You know, that's something that can't be resolved. Everybody is entitled to have their opinion on everything. You know, that subject as well. But
Well,
I think he's alienated more people with the Donald Trump and the slavery thing than he has pro-life versus pro-choice. My opinion.
Just to clarify, he was on Big Boy and he said Kanye West claims Democrats brainwash Black Americans and make them abort their children. So just to clarify the statement that we're talking about. Glad you're laughing over there. I wasn't trying to like make it worse or anything, but I felt like we referred to it, so we should say what it is. You know?
Hearing it is just like kind of laughable though, you know.
All right, we can talk about Kanye nonstop. I can't talk about Kanye anymore. Let's see what else is going on. So
speaking of George Bush, right?
Yeah. Oh, speaking good. Go for it. Good segue.
There we go. V just showed me the footage of YG. He had a fan on stage and he tried to get the fan to say F Donald Trump. And
I like how you're F, not even fuck.
Fuck Donald Trump. You know, I guess
F.
This is uncut. But the fan refused to say it, and he had to go. He was quickly escorted off the stage. My opinion.
Yeah, he was kicked the fuck off the stage by
he was definitely
YG
kicked
right
off the
after
stage.
that. Yeah.
I mean, when I first heard the headline, when I first saw the headline, I thought it was a kid that actually kind of just jumped on stage.
I did too. Not that he pulled up at first, right? And you kicked him off. Yeah. Yeah,
because we've been seeing that happen a lot in music lately, from the On the Run tour where somebody jumped on stage, and I think even at YG's previous show, somebody jumped on his stage.
Didn't Little Mama jump on stage during it?
Little Mama, and I was right there too. I wasn't on stage, but I was right there, and I saw when she was getting ready to do it. She was wrestling with it. She was looking. She was like, and then she did it.
Should have intervened. You know,
I ain't know.
Don't do it.
I didn't know she was gonna really do it. Like we was caught in the moment.
You
we was watching
that moment.
I could have saved it.
You could have saved her.
Hove, I apologize, man. But I definitely did see her there, and we was watching, we was vibing, and she was like really wrestling with the moment. She was like almost like.
Should I do it?
She was overcome with emotion.
And then she just did it. That was wow.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you, I was working at MTV at the time. They was so pissed.
Word.
They was so pissed.
Did that happen before or after Kanye in the show? Because that was the same year as Kanye Taylor, if I'm remembering correctly.
I don't know how you remember these
things. That was Kanye and Taylor happened at the very, very beginning of the show. That was like one of the first awards. And I remember seeing Kanye and Don C. Everybody was off Hennessy. They had the bottle of Hennessy with them.
That night,
yeah. But it was having a good time. Like I didn't really think anything of it when I seen him with the bottle. They was at the awards having a good time. He got on stage. He did what he did, and then I kind of seen Don seeing them after, and it was still lighthearted. It wasn't like I didn't think they thought it was gonna be the. That
literally made Obama call him a jackass, though, right?
Yeah.
Like there was that moment that called him a jackass, which was pretty unbelievable, also. Which is, I kind of feel like why he likes Trump is to be anti-Obama because Obama called him a jackass after that. I don't know if it's that blatant or not, but I feel like maybe it's that simple. I don't know.
You never really, when the moment is happening, like a lot of times you don't know how
big it's
impactful it was gonna be. Like I was actually there when, at the Super Bowl. With Justin Timberlake and all of them and Janet.
Oh wow!
When that happened, yeah, I was there. That was an MTV produced halftime show.
That's
and
right.
It happened. I was getting two ways because two-way page was out. We was getting two ways, and it was like, what the hell happened? And it was, it was sort of like a jovial moment, and it was people was laughing about it. And people was texting me with jokes. Then that shit got so serious fast. Like,
hell yeah.
It escalated like
by that next
oh
day.
My God.
Maybe sooner than that. I remember I kept hearing about it.
FCC. I mean, they were watching it, ringing bells. I mean,
it was serious. I was getting them calls from the FCC, literally. Like, it was.
Shaheem, were you there?
Literally.
Did you get it on your two-way?
Literally, that's what it was sounding like. It was serious, but going back to the YG situation, man. YG is somebody he's on his anti-Trump.
Right.
And
I respect that. I respect that he is taking his advantage and the voice in the situation he has to vocalize against him, right? I mean, there's a lot of people like, I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't say anything these days. I'm just staying quiet when you'd like to hear more people. So I like the way YG's approached it in the sense of I'm going to do a song. I'm going to stand up for my politics of what it is. You come to my show and you want to support him and kicking you out. I'm okay with all of it. And I think like that it matters. YG Vanessa's okay with it. But I think there's something about taking advantage of the position you're in and using it for some other reason besides to sell sweatshirts.
Rap used to be like that, man, and it's definitely a lot different.
Everything used to be. If you think about, we're in a really political time, right? We're in a really crazy political, just out time. And if you take it back to the 60s when it was like there was a musical movement. You had all these different people that had We Shall Overcome theme songs, and you had, Woodstock festivals and music festivals and politics and songs that went with the movement at the time. And now you have this real political time period and not a lot of music that goes with it. There is no We Shall Overcome. There is no song, like unifying song. I think we do It's Gonna Be All Right as like, we're going to be all right, as that. But you really don't have a musical movement to fit with the politics that are going on right now. And in a lot of other eras you did. But I think a lot of people are so scared of burning that bridge, burning the advertising bridge, burning whatever it is that would make you lose fans or so-and-so, that you don't have a music and politics aren't colliding.
I'm going to go a step further, man. And, some people may get offended by it, but I don't think a lot of artists are tuned in to what's going on.
They might just be tuned into their IG.
Yeah, I think they just so focused, like, as a community, as a hip hop community, as a black community, we're so sedated with social media, drugs, even
clothing, what to buy.
Yeah, like it's different.
Girls.
Like it's different, man. It's like the priorities are so different, and some of the OGs are talking out. Like I definitely see T.I. talking out a lot and doing his thing, but we don't even have that musical movement right now. Like there is no native tongue, there is no Public Enemy. We don't have an Ice Cube. Like we've always had in our best times in music, we've always had that balance. Like we've always had rappers talking about getting high and screwing and a lot of stuff, and a lot of that music is fun. Like I listen to it, you know what I'm saying? I listen to all of that.
But it's having the flip side.
But
you used to count on Mos Def coming out for Katrina Clap, like even just to, it's Mos Def and Talib or whatever. Like I don't think you have any of that the same way. That's why I do respect the YG side of it. In the sense of like, so at least he's saying something.
Yeah, we need some more of the.
Like, we wait for big things to happen, politics to happen here, and they're like, well, what do we cover? Well, if rappers don't care, it's really not for us to cover. So they're voting on whether they should impeach the president. Rappers don't care. And I don't know if they used to care more or not, and they care less. Whatever it is it's just not the same level of paying attention to politics like it feels like it used to be or resonating.
Yeah, I think, a lot of people have gotten very comfortable. Like, they went through the Obama era and was happy with it. It's like, we got our victory, okay, we going to be quiet. Like, I remember when Obama was running, hip-hop was very prolific, political-wise. You know, we had anthems. My president is black.
Voter die campaign.
Voter die.
Puffy doing. You haven't seen. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like now when we get like one of the worst people in there, but I don't know. I guess a lot of people are doing very well financially, and
you don't want to rock that boat.
Yeah, I don't even think it's about rocking the boat. I just think people are not even tuned in. That's what I think. I think a lot of people are not tuned in, and you know, it's unfortunate that we don't get the radio play for artists that would be more politically inclined. Like there's no kid right now who's want to come into hip hop and say, you know what, I want to make some money as a rapper. I'm a PE my whole career right now. Even though PE was successful, they're still on tour, they're doing their thing, but it's a different time. When they was out, they was getting that play, you know.
Right.
Radio, video, music box, MTV, MTV Raps, I should say. They was playing everything. Like they was just showing love to a lot of music. Now when you turn on the radio, you know, you hear a lot of the same stuff.
But you know who I do respect a lot though, for like being in tune with, you know, you're saying that people aren't in tune, but if you look at Cardi B and the way that she talks about politics and expresses an interest in it, I think it's
with
really
a relationship
dope.
with Bernie, paying attention to that. Yeah.
She makes it seem like
she had a comment this week, right? I forgot what it was, but something that she weighed in that was political.
Mm-hmm. And I like that, you know, there's a thing of like how she has, you know, just image-wise and for whatever reasons, like people don't expect her based on like her music and her image or whatever to be into that. And I feel like she makes it look cool and she makes it look like, yeah, I know what's going on. I know Bernie, I know about these issues, and, you know, even teaming up with him on her IG to ask him questions from fans. And I think that that's really cool. And even though she doesn't put it in her music, she definitely
and you know, to build on your point, I don't even think that you always have to put it in your music. There was times when just incidents like, you know, New York used to be so hot and a lot of stuff was going on. It wasn't the Walt Disney World that we know on 42nd Street, but you know, we would see like a Q-Tip or a Big Daddy Kane or somebody come out. Heavy D, you know, Heavy D wasn't a super political rapper, but he used to, you know, speak out when different things was happening. You know, even Puff at certain points. But you know, with social media, I think it's a beautiful outlet to express yourself, and I definitely do applaud Cardi. And you know, Cardi been on it since Trump got into office. She been on his ass since he got into office, and I think it's wonderful to see somebody like that who, you know, she's not political in her music like that, but she's really speaking her mind. And you know, it would be great if, you know, we see other artists do it. Like we can't just rely on YG and J. Cole and
T.I.
Right.
T.I.
Tip, yeah.
Kendrick, God rest the dead, Nipsey.
Right.
Used to do it. So, you know, hopefully we'll see, you know, more awakenings.
So we're with the YG move to kicking the fan off the stage.
Yeah, get him out the whole concert too. Don't just kick him off the stage. You gotta get out the concert.
Yeah. I mean, Trump is so polarizing at this point. It's kind of like, if you're coming to a YG show, you know where YG stands on it. It's kind of like, all right, you gotta go.
Well, it's interesting because obviously the YG feels a certain way, right? So if you're going to a YG show, do you have to agree with his politics? No, but maybe you would, right? You know, you don't have to. But if there's somebody who's totally fuck Trump, and you're not fuck Trump, it's interesting that you're still a fan.
Right, yeah.
Because he's polarizing enough to make you be like, no, you know?
Right.
I mean, that shows you the power of hip hop, man. Like hip hop is so powerful, man. These kids that their family might even have a damn Dixie flag in their house, man. And, you know, the music is so powerful. People still want to come and they gravitated towards it. You know, I'm sure it's a lot of Trump supporters that like hip hop.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, I mean, Trump's son claimed that Kanye was a genius and had a great album, right? There you go.
I'm saying outside of Kanye.
Oh, yeah, there you
outside
go.
of Kanye.
All right, well, why'd you keep doing your thing then?
Why'd you keep doing it? Keep speaking it.
Keep speaking it. All right, Kodak Black gets into a fight in jail. Prison guard gets hurt and is hospitalized. This is news this week. Why is it news? Because it happened and people get into
Are they saying Kodak hurt somebody? Because he's not a big guy. So I don't know how he's hurting a prison guard.
I believe so, that he was involved in the fight where the prison guard get hurt. I don't know the complete details.
They would have had
definitely...
to jump. They would have had to jump the prison guard because Kodak is not a. He's not a big. He's not a big guy.
Yeah.
Are you saying he's short?
I am. I'm short too. My thing on Kodak is that I don't know. It just seems we haven't had anything positive in the news about Kodak for a long time. This is a guy who is obviously very talented. That record, ZZ, love it. Big song. That song still came out this year. Was it last year? Was it this? I thought it was this year.
I don't remember what year, but he's had a big past 2 years. He's been doing very well musically. He's been doing well legally, not so well.
Yeah, he's great, man, and it's just, to me, I think he just needs some more guidance around him, man. Like
you can't have guidance around you if you keep going to jail, though. Very hard for him to guide you in there.
That's the biggest thing. Yeah. Like he just keeps shooting himself in the foot, and it's a lot of wasted talent. But it always goes to show you, man, to be one of the successful rap stars. Like you look at the people who's most successful, is that they do have the discipline to actually stay out of trouble. Yeah, it's gonna be some stumbling points. Jay-Z had a major stumbling block with the whole Rivera situation.
Right.
Puffy has had absolutely a
couple of those.
But it feels like they learned. I mean, that's 120 years ago at this point. They definitely learned. I mean, the people who can survive that and figure out, I don't move this way, or I move the people around me who move this way out of the picture and don't take them on the road with me. Like at some point you have to decide, I am a business, right? And I have to protect my business.
Like, when's the last time 50 has gotten into trouble?
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, over 10 years. Even, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago with Gucci. Gucci came out. He's been on his best behavior.
He's clearly been in the gym. Gym.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. But, it's a situation where everybody is, you got to stay out the trouble, man.
Well, you got a lot to risk. Like the more successful you get, the more you have to risk. Is it worth it?
And you can't fall back on.
T.I. went through it.
T.I. went through it a few times.
Yeah.
But you can't fall back on, he's young and he doesn't know. Yeah, he's young, but Illmatic came out when Nas was 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. I listened to what did I listen to the other day? Long Live the King, which I don't. One day we gotta have that debate. I listen to It's a Big Daddy thing. Let me correct myself, but one day we gotta have that debate. Long Live the King versus It's a Big Daddy thing. Two classic albums, but Kane was 17 years old when he came out. So you can't fall back on the young man. You just have to have that discipline, and it's getting in a place where Kodak's career is in jeopardy, like, because his freedom is in jeopardy. So it's tough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for the news. But speaking of debates, when I stepped in, you guys were having an interesting one about DMX versus 50 Cent.
Oh man, yeah. We just was talking about just their careers, the retrospect. Who might have had, if you're just counting, just straight music, like who's had the bigger career, just straight music. Two guys who belong in the Hall of Fame. Two guys who, changed hip hop at certain points, and
explosive debuts for both of them.
Explosive debuts.
The comparison is interesting to me because the longevity of what 50's done with movies and television and businesses and
we was talking about just straight music,
DMX, right?
Just straight music, not even counting TV and all of that. If you just
Music
looking at
from
straight,
just them, or music from also people they enabled?
Nah, music
I
from
think that
people
would
that
count
they
too.
enabled
I think that
yeah, that was
that
the
definitely
thing.
puts 50 over the edge for me.
Yeah, that's what
The
we
G
say.
Unit.
Put 50 over the top.
Yeah, yo has a platinum album.
Pretty good.
Thanks
selling.
has a has a multi-platinum album.
I miss
Game.
Lloyd Banks, man. I'm gonna be honest with you.
He doing shows.
Yeah.
You can go to one.
No, I miss the music,
The music, right?
output, man. Like I do miss Lloyd Banks. I was watching I was watching Power the other day, and they had a scene where Tommy was driving up and he was blasting Lloyd Banks. I was like, damn,
Oh,
we haven't
wow.
heard Banks in a long time. Like, isn't that's not bizarre to y'all?
I
Yeah.
think it's been so long that it's been regular that it's not bizarre anymore. Like, I think after the first couple years, I was like, that's kind of bizarre, you know? But now it feels like it's been, and he still puts out projects and tours, but I don't know if he cares so much about
Yeah.
the industry. You know, I can't gauge that, but it's been like that for so long with him now.
I
You
know
know,
he's.
I mean, people get into like the Punchline King conversation on Twitter and argue about that kind of
Right.
stuff and everything. And I don't know if he chimes in or retweets something that he likes that someone says or whatever. But it's been like this for a minute. But he also, when he had kids, he grew up.
he's in the
He
fatherhood.
has a family. Like, sometimes you just don't care to compete like that anymore.
And and I'm sure he's making a good living. Like this is the thing. What people don't realize is that for artists and entertainers, period, you don't have to be on the Forbes list to have a nice, comfortable life. And I'm sure Banks, I know him and Yayo did a Australian tour. Like
Yeah, they just toured together for the first time in a long time, or did some stuff together.
Yeah, so if he's coming away with a few $100,000 off that, like there's a lot of people that could live comfortably making just $2-3 million.
If you already
a
bought
year.
your house and everything, yeah.
And
Right.
I've been out to Banks' house. He got a nice crib.
Him and Yayo both got nice homes, right?
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of stuff that Fifth has got, been the villain in people's eyes about.
He's not known for jerking people over on money. There's
Right.
a lot more people who are successful and made money underneath him than made money under other people that he enabled. He stood next to everyone on a cover of a magazine or next to them when their album came out. He didn't move away from them.
Right.
He enabled a lot of people to be able to make money underneath them, and then they didn't come back and say they were jerked. Like, if you don't see him and them, that's what I find interesting is you
Right.
can go through different artists who have been accused of jerking other artists before, or labels or stuff. You never heard that with him.
Even with Game, I never heard, like, through all their quarrels and everything that they had, their war, I don't think I've ever heard Game say that he got jerked.
Right.
In that G Unit deal. Like, it was obviously other issues, but I didn't hear that it was business. And, Fifth, we've all been around him in G Unit. He definitely made sure that those guys were set up. And, I just me being myself, man, I just missed the time when it was the three of them. The core three,
Yeah.
Banks, Yayo, and Fifth, man. And it's just obscene to me that, somebody as talented as Lloyd Banks is just totally.
That's 15 years ago.
It is.
I mean, you could count the reunion with them a couple years back and all that, but it didn't feel the same way as the time period you're talking about. We're talking about literally, what was it, 2005, 2006, when they were last doing those projects together?
But remember, Banks
And then Banks came
was
back
young too. Like, Banks was the youngest out of all of them. Like, I don't even think. I mean, I know he's not 40 years old yet, but Banks is probably like 32, 33.
I was looking up his age the other day, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe Banks got so old. I forgot how old it was. I gotta look it up, but I was like, oh my God, I can't believe Banks
I think
is
he's
this
like
old.
mid to late 30s.
What is he? 35.
He might be like 30.
He's younger than a lot.
Or so.
37.
37.
37.
Yeah.
Grandpa.
37.
Yeah.
Okay, he's pretty much he's getting up there. But I mean,
Lloyd Banks being 37 fucks my head up.
yeah.
I don't know why. That was like a marker on time. Like, I was just like, he got that old? What happened? Like, I think he came in at like 20, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Super
sure.
young.
Bow Wow was 32, 33 years old. You know what I'm saying? Remember when he first
He
came
was
in?
bounced with me.
Yeah, it's different. I was listening. I was actually, no joke, I was listening to Eminem on the way over here, and he was like,
He got old too. We all got old.
1973. I was like, damn, him is actually, wow, 46 years old.
Isn't Jay gonna be 50?
Jay's gonna be 50. Yeah.
Yeah.
In December.
And Puff, right? Puff is about to be 50 in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good thing
He
we got the
is.
internet.
They're the same year. I was just trying to think of when his birthday is in the year. But yeah,
Puff
you're right.
is
I think he's
November, I
November.
believe.
Yeah.
Puffy will be 50 on November 4th.
Monday.
Wow, 1 month apart. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Olivia and
So
born a month apart.
Puff's got Jay by 30 days.
Well, I think we have to do our Puff Daddy episode next week when we come in. We got to do our Puff Daddy episode.
We invented
That'll
the
be
remix.
fun.
Yeah.
Today is Halloween. I got to tell everybody I'm dressed up as Paris Smith from his squad. This is my Halloween costume.
Did you plan that, or you just came up with it at some point in the day?
No, when I was getting dressed, I said, hey, I haven't seen my His Squad shirt. I'm going to wear it. It's only right. So, no Herman Munster for me this year. No Wolverine. No Ninja Turtle. I'm going as one of my favorite rappers, Paris Smith, EPMD, and His Squad. No disrespect to the Death Squad because I love Keith Murray and all of them, but His Squad was such a special time in hip hop, man.
It was, yeah.
EPMD, Redman, Daz Effect, K Solo. Everybody was putting out classic albums. That first Daz Effect album, EPMD Business as Usual.
I remember buying them in the store.
Oh my
I
God.
Daz Effects in the store. 100 years ago, and being like, yeah, I'm ready for this.
I'm such a big Redman fan. Anybody who know me know Redman is.
So you should get Redman to come up here then.
That's easy.
Such a big Redman. Bring a Redman up.
I'm bringing up Reggie.
Yeah, bring up Reggie.
Might have to bring up Reggie next
Reggie
week.
to talk
Yeah.
Kanye, because that's every week. No.
Hit Squad, man. They was, as a business template, you have you got the labels now, you got TDE, MFG, but even before Cash Money Records, man, His Squad, they was all doing it. Wish they could have stayed together.
Anything else?
I'm great, man.
You great? You great over there?
From the
I'm
Boondocks,
great.
Paris Smith.
And that nowhere out.
Next week.
But